if Karen was fighting with Millie Othiambo or the rest, it's none of my business. Those are big girls doing big games and they can fight because they have money and muscles. I was defending a lady who was removed from the toilet by Karen. Ametoa trouser, anataka ku help herself. Then anamwambia toka. I snapped. And we had some, not a big fight, just some slaps. My husband is older than me. He is not as young as people say. My husband is the one who taught me business. At some point, my business was making much money than him. That does not mean that nimemweka.
Behind every successful story, there's a process to it. And on today's episode of Tuko Talks, we bring you a story of one successful ex-journalist who is now a CEO, but she didn't wake up being one. From losing her parents, to dropping out of school, to surviving a potential sexual assault from someone who is very close to her. How did she survive all this? My name is Njeri Masi, and this is Wangechi Kariuki's story. Hi Wangechi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And
you
happy
too.
to meet you.
Happy
Finally.
to meet you.
Finally.
After a long time.
A long time.
You never give up.
I don't. And finally we are here, and I'm very ready to listen to this conversation.
Right.
And I'm sure even our audience this morning, they are ready. So looking at this camera, you can introduce yourself to people who are meeting you for the first time here on Tuko.
Right.
Ndio tukujue.
Thank you, darling. Thank you for coming. Thank you for calling. And
You're
thank you
welcome.
for being patient. You really love what you do.
I do.
And thank you for being professional. You never bugged me. You never pushed me. But you kept on requesting for this interview.
Thank you.
May the Lord bless you.
Amen.
To your viewers, my name is Wangechi Kariuki. I'm a mother, a wife, journalist, an entrepreneur, and a lover of Christ Jesus. And the CEO of Fetchy Organics, right? Yeah.
I guess that the part you have mentioned, that a lover of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We see like Wangechi loves a lot of fun, and people who love Christ are not associated with that kind of lifestyle. How do you balance the two?
That's a very old mentality. Jesus was a lover of life. He had a lot of friends, and he was a free spirit, and that's why most of the times he was associated, and the Pharisees were blaming him for associating with sinners. But that's what friends are for, and that's where he loved to be, because those are the people he wanted to attract to his kingdom. And mainly the kingdom of Jesus Christ is about love. The other things we were taught when we were growing up, and it was supposed to remain to that. But now when you stick to your Sunday school teachings, you will stick to that. When you grow up, you eat githeri and you get to know more about Jesus. I mainly focus on love, not on the weaknesses, because in the book of the Lord it says, whatever you eat or whatever you drink, it doesn't spoil you, but whatever cometh out after you drink and eat. So I don't fight food, I don't fight drinks, I don't fight association, but what comes out of that? And his main gospel is love. So after you drink, after you eat, what do you do? And after you meet people, what do you tell them? So I mainly focus on love.
So I know people who are viewing you this morning, already some have started to recognize Wangechi from Ulewa TV.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we can go back. Where does Wangechi come from before we see this brand, this beautiful lady seated before me?
All right. Wangechi comes from a village. It's just a village girl who loved reading books. And then later I became a journalist. I'm writing a book that is about to come out, but I'm a journalist. Going way back at 2008, that's when I went to 2009, I went to Citizen. I went to Bahasha FM. That was for Gadoni wa Moshomba. I went for an attachment from NIBS Technical. Then within 2 weeks, somebody sent me to Inoro. They were looking for a voice-over artist. And from there, I never went back to school again, because they took me and I got an employment with Citizen TV. And that's how I became a journalist. I was doing mainly human interest stories. And within some few years, we were poached. You remember likes of he's Tomboya, Belinda Obura. I don't know whether you know them. They are old. So we were poached. You're very young. You're laughing at my age, yeah?
No, I'm not.
We were poached to K24. And that time I worked there for 3 or 2 years, and then we were laid off. I went to Karachi Breweries, and I was the head of I was the head of marketing. I was at some point, I did a lot of things in Karachi Breweries, because at some point I was the PA Tabitha Karanja. And then later I felt that thing of getting laid off and then you still have a passion for journalism was still eating me up. And I didn't know what to do. I went back from the scratch. You know, in the media industry, sometimes when you move from one station to another, some people are not happy, or the bosses are not happy. They will not take you back. And when we were laid off at K24, there was a lot of backbiting and people saying that we just left a very lucrative job, and you see real media is seemed as the big and toppest cream in the media industry. So we were not taken back. I tried going back, but I was not taken back because of some reasons. So I said, because the passion is in me, I have to start from scratch. I went to a very small media that was coming up, that was called what? Nyumba ya Mobi, and it was a local TV station, those small ones. I don't think it's there. We stayed for 1 year or 2 years without payment. Yes.
How are you surviving?
By the grace of God. By the grace of God, because of the passion. You know how you feel. You're a journalist. You know how it feels when you are not working, and you feel like you can even work for free. So later, I was approached by one person, the owner of Jata TV, and I did their news bulletins. I was doing news, and then later, Kameme came TV, and I went back. The HR by then, she took me back. And that's how I've been in the media industry for that long. Then later, like 3 years ago, 2 years, if I'm not wrong, I decided now to resign and back on the entrepreneurial journey.
At the peak of your career.
At the peak of my career.
How easy or hard was that for you?
It was very, very hard, most especially from my family and my husband, who is my number one fan. Because he could not imagine that I am being celebrated at the top, and the world, and most especially the vernacular, the Mount Kenya region at large are looking at me. I remember that time I was dancing on Fridays, and now this is the time to leave. One thing that made me took that make that move is because I have been seeing a lot of celebrities, unfortunately, going back, and people looking, and people giving them money, and very desperate. And I was asking myself, what happened to them? What might be the problem? And I later realized that they never took the bold move of creating something by their name. And some of the times it's the fear of the unknown, and also for clinging too much into the celebrity status, which is so draining and time consuming, and sometimes it will leave you with nothing to do apart from maintaining that image outside there, which is very expensive to maintain. You know very well, journalists in Africa are not paid that much, only some few. So I had to take that bold move, and the move that nobody was seeing, including my family, but I knew what I was doing. And it was very tough on my side. And I decided, even my bosses were not agreeing. They never believed that I'm moving until the last day. And it was very tough for me, but I had to do it. I had to jump. Yeah.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Of course, someone who is, or maybe even myself who is listening to this story, we can see a trail of Wangechi's been successful. Like you're getting employment, like It's like almost God is on your side, like
Right.
the next door is opening for you.
Right.
And such cases, quote unquote, mainly happen to people with connections, people coming from families with names. Was that the case for you?
Not at all. I have a background of I have a story about my family. That's a story for another day. But all along, I've told you, I went to NIBS Technical. I was doing a certificate because I could not afford to do a diploma. But now, you see, by the time I was going for an attachment, that was just by grace of God. It came when I didn't have money to go to the next semester. And when we went for attachment, that is when God grace came and I got an attachment. Remember, when you're going to an attachment, you are supposed to go for an attachment, then go back to school. So by the grace of God, I was employed. I was taken by Inoro FM. And from there, I never went back to do my diploma. And I'm lucky that I was taken because I was not even able to go back. I could not afford to go back to school. So I knew that was my last day in school. And I was counting between me and God. And from there, remember one lady by the name Nungari, she does a lot of, she's also a journalist. She's the one who called a lady by name Fidelis Wangari. She's still in Inoro as we speak. May the Lord bless her. She's the one who connected me. And from there, God took me. So I don't have a father figure. I don't have a God figure. I only have God. I remember my late mom taught us so much about prayers and believing in God. And because I have a very big, I don't know whether to call it a sad story or a strong story. I didn't have anyone to look up to. The story is in my book, how I grew up. So I don't have a father figure. God has been opening doors for me. But there's something that that lady told me. Maybe you people are lucky that doors are opening for you. You can just wake up and become a celebrity from TikTok or YouTube. That lady told me that just make sure that you hold on to yourself. Don't go sleeping around. That time, it was tough on women who didn't have a godfather. You see, I remember there's another day I was thinking about how I could see people from, children from rich families and background. You know, Citizen Royal Media, there are people who are bringing their children because maybe they are MPs, they know the owner of them. So you could see them coming with big cars and then you don't know how even you're supposed to go home. And you're praying to God that the editor will send you to a story, maybe a Tuoli story, and you get 2,000 to go back home. So I will tell you, I have nobody apart from Jesus Christ, who is my King, who have been opening doors for me. So he does. And those who believe in him, he will never let you down. So hakuna mtu ashainifungulia mlango mimi, apart from God. And in fact, let me tell you, in Royal Media, there's this man called Wachira Waroro. He's a distant relative, but he didn't know me. He came to know about me later because where he sits, I will not have gotten there. I would not have reached there because, you know, there are people who are rich from your family. They are distant relatives, but they don't know you. Remember, when you're poor or when you come from poor background, nobody knows you. And it's by default. And it's not because people hate you. Poverty is bad. So I don't know anybody. He came to learn that I'm there because of how aggressive I was. And he liked me, and maybe at the time I was getting employed, it's not because he said I got employed or he said a word on me. It's because I worked for it. Yeah. So I don't have a person that I can attach my name to, apart from that lady Nongari, who sent me to Fidelis. And from there, God has been opening doors.
For us who are listening to this story, there's somewhere you've mentioned about a late mom. So maybe you can tell us, at what point did you lose your mom and how was it growing up without
her? As I told you, Njeri, we have, I'm writing a book. And most of that part of the story, because it's a long story, it's going to come out in the book. But I lost my mom when I was in Form 2, and I was a dropout at Form 1. And that time, I remember she came to see me in Rongai, because I was in Form 1 at Rongai, Ongata Rongai. So she came to see me because I was out of school, and they were having issues with my dad on my education. So my mom had told me to stay in Rongai with my sister so that she can look for money to take me back to school. It's a long story. And I remember my mom waving me goodbye. Then later, in a month, I was going to a burial for my uncle. And my mom had, my dad had sent people, because my uncle was, unaona wale my uncle wanavuta bangi, they don't have families, they are reckless. So he didn't have a family, he was just living like a crazy man. So he died. And then my dad was sending my brother to come to Nairobi to tell people that the burial is going to be on Wednesday. That was on a Monday.
Hakukuwa na communication.
Hakukuwa na communication. Then there are things that dad wanted him to come and get in Rongai. So my mom saw him he was in the Kwashamba. Then he saw dad sending my brother. Then he called him. He told him, go and don't forget to come with Wangechi. So that time I was still in Rongai, waiting for my mom to get money so that she can take me back to school. So I went. Now it is today. So my brother comes today and I travel the following day. My mom died that night. My mom was, before I got home. So he was sent today. So we slept, and then the following day I went. So my mom died that night. She was asthmatic. And it was tough. But anyway, life goes on. And it was tough without a mom, because our home was locked, because I'm the second last born. The others had left and they were having their own lives. So my mom, my last born sister was in grade 8. So she was taken by one of my stepmoms, and I survived. It is a tough story. I was being hosted by so many people. I was hosted by one of my sister's friends. She was a bar girl. She's called barmaid. It's a long story. It's a long, sad story, but I love God. It's beautiful right now. So it was tough. Yeah, growing without a mom, it's tough. And I never wish any mom's death, because a mom is a home. Without a mom, there is no home. And I'm not saying that dads should die, but unfortunately or fortunately, a home is a mom. It was tough. But God came through, and right now we are here. Right.
We are here. And you've mentioned that after mom's death, you went to elsewhere to look for somewhere to stay, and your younger sister was taken by one of your stepmoms.
Right.
Were they many?
There were many. It's part of my book, but I've been saying about it. My dad had 5 wives. We had 28 children in our family. 15 are girls and the rest are boys. It's a long story. I will write it on my book. I will call you.
Please go.
I will call you.
Please
I'll
call
call
me
you
for an exclusive before we leave.
I will call you for an exclusive, yeah.
Also, did that affect your relationship with your siblings, knowing that now you have kind of grown apart? Now you are not together at that home.
It's a long story, because part of us separated because of the wrangles between my mom and us. We were brought up. I didn't know my dad until I was in grade 6, but I used to see a man who came and left. Sometimes I didn't know who he was. Part of us grew in the village from my Guka side, my mom's side, because it's my Guka who had given mom a place, land, and he had built her a home. But later we came to join our dad. So that's how I came to learn that we had a dad. And part of my family, we are 7 in our family. One is late. So the elder part of our family was at some point was taken by my dad. I didn't know where they had gone. I could see my mom had a lot of issues and struggles, and she didn't know how to explain to us because we don't know about it, and we didn't know about our dad. So we were separated at some point. So even by the time my mom died, and by the time my mom had by that time now my mom had gotten back together with my dad, and that time my brothers and sisters were big, so they were already not at home. So we were not again together. The only time that we were together is when I was a toddler, when I was a child, when I didn't know myself. So I came later to learn about them when they are not at home. So when I knew myself, I don't know myself with them, with the love, with togetherness, because of these wrangles that I'm telling you about. So I didn't have so much connection with them, but I know they belong to us. But I knew something was happening in between. So by the time I was now separated by the death of my mom, I was taken over by a friend to my elder sister. That's another story. So I didn't have it was not a baggage. It was not a load or a burden to me because we were not staying together. So the death of my mom didn't affect the relationship between us because the wrangles had already separated us.
It was already struggling
Right,
for mom's
right,
death.
right.
Can you say that growing in such a family setup affects your adult decisions directly or indirectly in any way?
I cannot tell because I think my mom was a very strict woman in terms of your dignity, in terms of how you relate to people. And I think as millennials, you Gen Zs are totally brought up differently. At that time, children belonged to everybody. So you were not relying so much on your parents. Everybody could discipline you, and you never took your parents as your parents. Like everybody was your parent. So we are lucky we were brought up by the village. We were brought up by the church. Everybody was our parent. So, and then there was no so much hate and so much belonging to us. It was a family. We were brought up when we could share in the village, when fire could be spread in the village. When you don't have fire, you could go to knocking every door. When you don't have salt, you could go borrowing I was brought at that time. So I don't really have a vacuum in terms of how I was brought up. I don't feel a vacuum in me about how I was brought up, but my mom was very strict, and she was a very God-fearing woman. So she brought us up in a very straight line, and so much about being a woman and carrying yourself with dignity, and always being very strict on your sexual orientation, on how you're going to go about sleeping around, dating. I don't feel a vacuum about it. Okay,
that is well noted. So for this question, you can choose to answer or
right,
not. Of
right.
course, it will be edited if you're not comfortable. So I am a follower, I am a fan of you, especially on your Facebook page.
Thank you.
And you're very active.
Thank you.
And you've been sharing snippets of some personal life, although you have not been opening up a lot about it. And recently there was a celebrity couple that had I don't know what to call it, like a very weird fight about, there was allegations that the dad is not, the man in the picture is not the dad to a particular daughter, and there could be a romantic story or something. And you did comment about that, and you associated it with your personal story of you. Is that something that you would maybe tell us, kidogo?
I will tell women, take care of girls. Nobody is a friend to your girl, including those who are close to you. I know you're a girl, and I know you are not safe in hands of any man. But the good thing with men, they will ask you for it. But it depends on how are you brought up. Are you able to say no? The situation of the story I wrote about my dad, and I will still I'll explain about it later in my book. The good thing with him, and I will appreciate him, he never raped me. He requested. Maybe he used my vulnerability. And my mom had shown me and had taught me, I'm not a woman because I have money or I don't have money. You're a woman, you're a woman whether you're hungry or you're not hungry. Your dignity counts whether there is opportunity or no opportunity. So your sexuality is special, intact to you. Don't go giving it out. Just have audacity to say no. So most people who have approached you, Njeri, most men, they request you. But how vulnerable are you to accept? So if you know yourself, you're not your sexuality. You're a woman and a human being. You should stand and say no to anything that is not supposed to happen. But unfortunately, are we teaching our girls to say no?
Not really.
And unfortunately, there's a time I was telling a friend of mine, there's this thing of socialites when they came into the picture. And I will not mention some of those socialites. That time I was still in the media. And I was telling my editor, we are doing wrong, glorifying socialites. Because when you do it, we are showing our girls what they are made of. A girl is not only made a girl is not only made of her sexual organs. They are brains. They are brains, and they should work towards becoming, not because they can offer sex, just because they are human beings like men are. So when we glorified those socialites, what did we do to our girls? They came and then they were being covered with some, when you're calling for an interview from a socialite because you don't want to call them sexual workers, you will give them a tag that doesn't belong to them. Because they are always also tagging along as something that doesn't look, that make them, that wash the sexual business in them. Maybe they will call themselves business, entrepreneurs or what. So we brought them on board and we used to give them interviews. And then I was telling my editor, let me tell you, the problem with these girls, they will follow them on social handles, but the social handles that does not pronounce business. They are talking of how they are going to Dubai, having sex with men. We see them naked. So the girls started doing the same. What followed was tragic death of women who were killed by so many men, these big men, because they thought it is easy to have that flashy life of traveling to Dubai, driving cars. I know you have seen them. But now if you glorify them, you are teaching the same thing to your young girls. So what are you teaching your girls? When you're glorifying people, when you're bringing them interviews, and then they have flashy lives. And then right now you can see there are so many people who are the boys have come with a lot of money and they are saying it's Forex. So what are we teaching our boys? That you can just sit down and do Forex, which is not even explained. Because sometimes I know you have been looking at those boys and you are wondering, which Forex is this? So the children, because they are not stupid, they will dig deeper to what they are doing and they will definitely do that. So what will happen? A lot of tragedies, a lot of death, a lot of sicknesses, and a lot of unfortunate things to our girls. So let us stand and teach our girls to do it right and at the right time, and tell them they are not made of sex. They are human beings, and they should stand for what belongs to them. Right?
You can say no.
Yeah, and you can say no. Yeah, you can say no, and you can decide. You don't. A girl is not an object. 21st century, a girl should stand and choose a partner not because they are hungry, not because they are looking for a car, just because this is my type and this is not my type. But why do we get girls sleeping with old men or doing ratchet things? Because they don't have an option. The only option they have is to eat and drink and drive. And because they have peer pressure. And who have gotten those girls to that point? It's us, the society. Let us blame the church, blame the society, blame the media. You glorify prostitutes and girls are going to be prostitutes, right?
Nice one. Do you have a relationship with dad right now?
My dad is dead. but before it's it's written in the book. There's we talked later, right?
How was it easy for you to forgive him, knowing that he wasn't in your life for a long time?
I don't have a grudge about him. I forgave him, and I'm happy that he never forced me. And whatever I had to sacrifice, it was not death, because going hungry today, tomorrow, God was providing. I didn't rely on him. I was not brought up by him, as I told you. So I don't have him in my life for a while. So I saw him appearing in certain point of my life. It's in my book, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So fast forward to now, Wangechi, you're falling in love, you want to settle. Of course, we see a beautiful marriage, you and your husband, how happy you are. How did you meet? How was that for you?
Thank God that I have a husband who is not intimidated by me being vocal and a strong woman. He's my number one supporter and my fan. He has been pushing me, and instead of, there are men who want to bring women down. I am a lucky woman, I thank God. Yeah.
You're blessed. And I guess that's one of the reasons why, because I like I said, I'm a follower of you two, even you two, and sometimes being a producer, I have to go through the comments and I see people. I guess that's one of the reasons why people say umemkalia, mwachilia ni mdogo, achilia kijana katafuta watu wa rika yake.
I know.
Mpaka today I'm lucky I saw him in person. I was like, Wangechi, umemweka. Because that's a narrative that has been really
in fact, you know me, I'm never intimidated by what people say. My husband is older than me. He is not as young as people say. He's the one who taught me business, and I'm not scared of whatever people say, because it's not part of me to mind about their business. I've told you, you have seen I've survived a lot of things that could have killed me. So social media cannot kill me. I'm happy. I love my husband. He's the king, right?
You see, we are listening, and we have seen like a trail of I don't know whether I can define you to a celebrity couple, but you are known. Both of you are known. We have seen when we see like when you people divorce. Okay, not you, Shindwe. When these couples get to divorce, now the women come and tell us. Like recently, we saw at hizo gifts zenye mnananga nikibaiwa, I buy them for myself. Where does it get for a couple which is known online to start faking like the happiness, the gifts, the vacations?
I don't know what makes people fake, but there are people who don't like to, who also want to, if they see people happy, they think they're pretending. I don't know how it gets. I don't know whether it's because people are looking for views or for money. Now social media is paying, and so you want to trend so that you can have numbers. I think one of the person that I saw doing that is Mulamwa. Mulamwa, after the saga of the wife, I saw him displaying and arrogantly showing the numbers of how much he has gotten on social media. So maybe that way. Me, I don't have money that I'm looking for in social media. God has blessed us. I think we own some companies, and money to clout on social media is a peanut to me. I don't think I can rely on that money. I thank God that he has blessed me. So whatever you see on social media is not clout chasing for views or for likes or for anything. It's the reality of the matter. I love staying today. I don't, if I clout, maybe I will be clouting with a first class jets and everything. But I even do photos on some boats, on some just casual things. But I don't think I think this thing of buying things and it's me who did this is a story that have been trending. Couples have been helping each other. There's a friend of mine who told me that one day she's called Judy Kosgei. One day she told me that after school, because her mother struggled, she was a teacher. Her mother struggled, the parents struggled to pay her university fee and everything, and now this time she wanted to go and pay back the dad, and now she went with the money and gave to the mom, and she was shocked to learn that The dad was not the one who was paying the school fees for her. It's the mom, and he was taking loans. And now the money that was being taken to dad was taken to pay loan for the mom. It's the mom who has been doing that for her. So it's not, sometimes one party is low, sometimes one party is down. Like now, I've told you, my husband is the one who taught me business, but later I came and became the teacher of the business to him. So that means now at some point my business was making much money than him. That does not mean that nimemweka. There's a time he was standing in for the family when he had. Right now, by the time I was getting married to my husband, he was living in suburbs. He was living in this place called what? A very good poshy place. The first seat that I sat on, the recliner seat, was in his home. I've never seen a recliner seat. He's the first one I saw it from his house. So when you come and tell me that nimemweka, just because my business is doing good, people don't want to agree. And it is the society that don't want to see a woman who is happy. They think a man is kept. But I thank God that my man is not intimidated. I also want to thank God. There are a couple like Bahatis. If that man was not strong, he could have dumped Diana a long time ago. Everybody has their story. But I feel so worried, and I feel pity to a woman who gets dating a weak man. A weak man is a person who will hear what people are saying, and then you start giving pressure to your wife. Bahati is one of the most accommodating gentlemen that we have seen. There are so many people who are older than Bahati, and they're not bringing up their children. Bahati is just a young man, and he's younger than Diana. But look how beautiful that family is. But why is that family beautiful? Because Bahati is not intimidated. A man is not a man. A man is not called a man because of the age. It's because of the dignity and the weight that they're supposed to hold, that they can hold in their head. So I thank God my husband is standing with me. And sometimes when people are bashing and calling him names on social media, it doesn't intimidate him, right?
And that doesn't affect you both?
And it doesn't affect us both. Well, at first, he was being affected when his name was being dragged on social media. But now he later came to learn, as we grow, as we go, he has shock absorbers. Yeah.
That's part of the growth.
Part of the growth, right?
Is there something that you've read about maybe you or your husband that you are like, guy, what are they even saying? Like a rumor or something someone had written? So
many things. And some of them you will see people contributing, and you're like, is it me, or is it so many things have been written. That thing of age, that thing of kuekwa, and you know they're doing that so that the man can shiver out and can go out and separate. But now depends on how strong is your man. If your man is not strong, at a chicken out. And fortunately, I have a lion. My husband is not intimidated, right?
You're very vocal on your page, and I see you giving very strong opinions, but at the same time, there's some time we see you on the other side of internet. Like we saw the time you had an online fight with nominated Senator Nyamu.
Right.
There's also a time you were trying to really defend Triza.
Yeah.
And the people who are like, Wangechi anakuanga na opinion kwa kila kitu.
Yeah.
Wangechi, kwani kila kitu imekuhapenia?
Yeah. Because I am strong. I'm not afraid. I'm not intimidated. I'm not cowed. I stand for the list of these. The saga of Karen, I was still defending. I love women, and I'll never hate. I hate any person who wants to step on any person who is below them. If Karen was fighting with Millie Othiambo or the rest, it's none of my business. Those are big girls doing big games, and they can fight because they have money and muscles. The time about Karen, I was defending a lady who was removed from the toilet by Karen. A person who was in the toilet, ametoa trouser, anataka ku help herself. Then anamwambia toka. I snapped, and we had some, not a big fight, just some slaps, and we settled it down. I will not allow you to intimidate a woman just because they are below you. The second one is this for Triza. Triza is a woman, and those people who are surrounding her, they're speaking on behind her back, and she is running for help to those people, and then you want to remove her nakedness outside there. She is helpless at this moment, and then I don't think is the right thing as people she is looking up to now uncover her. I love women, I defend women, and anything that is done to a woman, whether they are top there or down there. I remember I also defended Dama, and Dama is, I've never met her at that point. I was fighting for her because somebody was out there to destroy her business. A woman who have worked herself out from a poor background without money. And then someone, all of a sudden, overnight, somebody want to bring her brand down. I called her and I told her, Damaris, make sure that you stand for your business. Not because I know her, not because I want friendship. In fact, I don't have friends. Me, I walk alone with my husband. Those people that I associate with we have businesses. So I fight for anyone who is being brought down. I also defended the baby top Wakirumba. Not because we are friends, because someone wanted to drag her mother to a fight that doesn't belong to her. Nobody knows Wakirumba's mother, and she has never been vocal. If we are fighting because we are in these social platforms, let us fight. But don't drag anybody who is not in your fight. So I have a voice. I'm not a cow. I'm never cowed. I know what I want, and I fight for those. I've told you, I'm brought up I was brought up in a very unfortunate background, and I never saw anyone fighting for me. So I stood for myself. In fact, I will tell you, when I was in K24, I went to do a story in uko kwa Luoland, and we got a family that was about to die because of jiggers, and some had some other HIV positive, the mother was the rest. And because in between there was a girl, and I remembered how I was brought up with a lot of fear, and I had to take that girl, and I was a young journalist. I brought a girl home without the consent of my husband. Yeye aliona mtoto hapo, nikamwambia, if this girl is dying just because they don't have food, I will not allow the family, because it's a long story too, walikuwa wanawafukuza. The family of where the mom was married, they were throwing them out because they had remarried, and those people kept on dying, those who had taken the mom. So they said the mom is bewitched. So they had thrown her out because they wanted to take the land that belonged to her. So by the time I was getting that girl, they didn't have food to eat. So I said, if my children are eating, the only thing that is going to kill this child is food. Wacha akuje tukae na yeye. So I adopted a girl. So I have been a fighter and a warrior for girl child. So mimi hakuna kitu unaweza niambia. I will defend whoever I want, and I'm not a cow. I was brought up in fire, and I came up right like this. So I know the ways of success and what it takes. And sometimes you might end up not like me. Maybe utasakam. There are people who have been sexually abused because they were children. They didn't have a way to say no. Right? So right now, because God has given me a voice, I will stand and talk and defend whoever is down and being trodden. Right?
Sometimes the drama with these celebrities, especially from this region of Mount Kenya, they are too much. It almost looks like they are staged, because every day we have a new fight, every day we have a new someone who is answering sijui nani. How toxic is that platform? It's
very toxic, but I do involve when after I make money, I decide which one to pick. You cannot pick everything. You will deliberately get stagnant. So it depends on how much money I've made and how much time do I have. And what else am I doing? So these things I do after I am done with my work. And I see this one I will fight, this one I will not, this one. And we are in the space of social media. So being a person who is followed by almost 1 million people, they are always looking up to, what will you say?
I know that someone who is watching this episode has learned something. I've also learned a lot that I didn't know about you, because the person that I see on social media, the personality that you portray there, and the person who is seated here, they are quite, I would say, kidogo different, because ule wa kule hayuko hivi calm.
Ni bully. You want to call me a bully? I'm not a bully.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I had to have this conversation.
Right.
But before we even close this episode, you can touch on whatever you are doing right now. You jumped from employment to being a CEO of your own company. How is that taking you?
I thank God that I jumped. I thank God that I tried and took the risk of becoming an entrepreneur. I am the CEO of Fetch Organics. Fetch Organics is a skincare company that is registered, and everything we have cabs, we have carry, we have everything is running. It's a skincare company. I'm the CEO. We deal with skincare and also hair care, and we have part of cosmetic. In fact, I'm supposed to rush for a meeting with some of our suppliers, and we are doing quite well. And the good thing with social media too is you can send your products to every corner of this world. We are doing the whole world as we wait. We have clients in Kuwait, we have clients in Dubai, we have clients in Saudi. We send through DHL. As long as you have the certification, as long as you have all whatever it's required to do this business, you're good to go. So we thank God. And also there's a special thing that is with our products. We have a lot of testimonies. You know, other businesses you can do, selling cups you can do, it's easy. But skincare is tricky because it's either working or not working. So we want to appreciate and to thank God that we have doctors that have been from Kenyatta Hospital. They have been sending their clients here, to their patients here, to come and buy our products. So that they can clear their face, their acne, and so forth. Yeah. So our products are organic. They are certified by KEBS, and we got millions and millions and millions of I know you have seen it, of testimonies of before and after. We are seeing on how to expand globally, and within time we will be all over the world. Right.
So thank you so much for creating time for us and having this conversation with us. But before we close this episode officially, I would like you to talk to young Wangechi, that young Wangechi was fighting for herself. And also if you were to say kind words to your mom this morning, because you have really mentioned her as a pillar in your life, what would you say to her?
If I meet my mom, and I will, when that time comes, but I'm not dying as young as she did.
Yes.
She did as injustice, but if I meet her, I will tell her she brought up a very strong woman. She was a very good woman. She was a strong woman. I saw her fighting for us, and I will tell her whatever she fought for is not in vain. We are here. I would also remind her that my brothers and sisters are doing well, and we thank God and we appreciate that she did whatever she had to do for us to be where we are. She's a great woman.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Young Wangechi.
Young Wangechi, you did well to stop whatever was to kill you. You never let your mom down. You did whatever was supposed to be done. You cried alone. You slept hungry. You slept outside. Now you're here sleeping into not the most beautiful, but she's still here to see what the Lord has in store for her. She's going to be a global icon for ladies and to bring hope to the hopeless. That is what God meant for her. And she is yet to do it.
Absolutely. To your supportive hubby.
My husband is the lion, and he's the lion in the jungle. He's never intimidated. He's that wind under my wing. he taught me business, and I became the teacher. Now he is holding my hands, or he's also having things he is doing. He's the chairman, Blissful Oasis, and he also have the properties company that is called Nyumba Land Limited, and he's doing quite well. He's a quiet man, as I told you, and he's never intimidated. Right? He allows. I want to appreciate him that he allows me to become, even when the voice rolls and that wants to make him look behind. He never. I knew what I was married to. I was getting married to, and I wish every woman to get a man who is not intimidated by the socials and who knows what he wants in life. As I told you, Bahati has made Diana become, because it's not Diana, it is Bahati.
Yeah.
If Bahati cowed, they will not be having a family. But he stood with the family. My husband is a lion, more than a lion. He's such an awesome man. May the Lord bless him. Right.
Amen. So for someone who wants to maybe order the products or maybe visit your shop, you can give us a contact detail,
right,
and the social media handle.
Right. Anyone who wants to order I first want Jerry to appreciate our clients. They have been, we have been running with them for almost 6 years now. And I want to appreciate God that he has continuously provided healing and restoration to our clients. And anyone who want to order our products, we have 4 shops. One in Nairobi, the Spa Mall. The other one is in Nakuru, Eldoret, and Moya. But you can order online. Anyone want to order, you can call this number 0769 507 696, 0769 507 696, or 0740 157 504. Fetch your organics to the world through Jesus Christ, our Lord and King.
Amen.
Thank you.
How did you feel having this conversation?
You are awesome.
Thank you.
You are awesome and calm. You are very professional.
Things we'd love to hear.
You didn't bug me.
Thank you.
I think I never saw Tuko as so big. I don't want to say. But depends on the personality too. Absolutely. You're a young, vibrant girl. And I like, people have been calling me for interviews, by the way, even from your place for so long. But I don't know how I give in, because you never pushed and you never bugged me, and you're very professional. I ask you a question. What is your vision about whatever you're doing?
Tafanya nifutwe. Can I close, please? Thank you. And to you, our viewer, thank you for sticking with us up to this point of today's episode. As usual, remember that Wangechi's number will be on your screen and also on the pinned comment below. And also, if we manage to get the links to our social media, especially the business social media handles, it's going to be on the pinned comment below. Until next time, my name is Jeremiah. Just keep it Tuko.